all of our friends reach out to
Yes.
us and they're like, okay, my kid, I'm trying to like potty train. Like, what should I do? Or like, my kid's having a hard time at school and the teacher says, they're not following through with their work. What can I do? So we became this like sounding board for all of our friends that we were like, hey, why don't we just like do this online and then maybe people will listen, because it seems like we all have the same questions.
It's behavior, bitches.
Hey guys, it's Leah. Welcome back to today's episode of Behavior Bitches Podcast. Coming in hot. I'm straight out of the ER, feeling good, ready to be here. Might still be high on Dilaudid or the Benadryl that is in my system because I was so itchy from the Dilaudid. So let's see how I do today. If I could do this today, I could podcast anytime. No, but seriously, I really was just in the ER with a lupus flare-up over Passover. And they gave me Dilaudid, which is amazing. I love Dilaudid when I'm sick. You know, the MO's there. But I get really itchy from it, so you kind of have to, like, pick your poison. So I was so itchy, I literally scratched my whole spray tan off, and I slept for the next, like, I literally slept for 3 days since. So I got out on Sunday, and then I slept until today, Tuesday. Is that 3 days? I don't even know anymore. But the point is, I'm here for the podcast. You could I could literally be dead one day, and then I'm here. So I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited for our guest today. The only thing I'm not excited about is that my spray tan is now gone because I literally scratched it off due to the Benadryl. But before we get started, to keep me going on days that I just feel knocked out or half dead, maybe like today, coming out of this flare up, I have this review of the day. And I love that you guys are turning to Spotify. Is this Spotify? Actually, maybe it's not.
It is Spotify.
It is Spotify. Okay. And we got a 5-star review titled Awesome. Hi, I just wanted to say I enjoy your podcast so much. I feel like you make ABA so much easy. Oh, so much easier, especially if it's in regular gossip tone for us women. Girl, you know I've got you. You all voices stick to the back of my mind, and I couldn't appreciate you all for that. I love it. Well, thank you for that review. Love it, mean it. Thank you for listening. Means a lot. Now, today's episode is going to be a lot of fun, and I feel like these women can hold the podcast themselves. I was lucky enough to meet them at CTABA. When was that? Like 2 months ago, maybe?
Yeah,
2 months
February,
ago?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 months ago, I wanna say. I don't know, it was cold still in Connecticut, and it was great, and I met these 2 people, and I'm gonna give you their intros, but I really also wanna give them the opportunity to talk about themselves some, because you'll hear they should be leading this. They're probably way more entertaining than me. So, without further ado, our first guest, this last name, ready? We have Jen Stacquadanio. Stacquadanio. Stacquadanio?
Stracquadani. Yeah, you got
Stracquadanio. I totally forgot the R. It must be the Dilaudid still in my system.
what it is.
Stracquadanio. We have Jen Stracquadanio. She's a BCBA executive director. Ugh. I literally think I might still be high. So like whatever. Executive director and co-founder of Moms Managing Behavior. She holds a master's degree in special ed from Rutgers University and is a certified elementary and special education teacher. Me too. With extensive experience in both private and public settings, Jen has served as a special education teacher and a BCBA for individuals across a wide age range, from elementary school students to adults over the past 12 years. Her professional interests focus on increasing skill acquisition and social skills for individuals with ASD, while also addressing and reducing behaviors of concern. In her current role, Jen collaborates with school districts and community members to promote acceptance and support inclusion for individuals with ASD. She also provides training for parents and delivers professional development sessions for educators and other professionals in the field of ABA. Welcome, Jen.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to be here. Now I'm going to introduce your other half. You ready for it? Now we have Megan. Megan Stenziano.
Yeah.
You guys
That's a
come
little
with these like Italian last names. I'm like sweating over here. All right. All right. Megan is the executive director and co-founder of Moms Managing Behavior, aka they do it together and they're besties. They have a very cute relationship. You could feel it immediately upon meeting them. They're so cute. She's a special ed teacher specializing in ABA. She received her master's degree in special ed from Rutgers. Did you guys know each other in grad school?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you met in grad school. It's so cute. Love it. And she's a certified elementary and special education teacher. She has over 20 years of experience working in the special ed field in both private and public school settings with students ages 5 to 21. Her areas of expertise have included parent training, staff development, social skills training. As the executive director and co-founder of Moms Managing Behavior, Megan provides professional development to school districts and businesses to promote inclusivity and provides parent training in the area of applied behavior analysis, special education, and executive functioning. You guys are very impressive, but let's get real. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having
Yeah,
us.
thank you so
I'm
much.
so I really feel like that was a challenge. I didn't realize my brain is like still hungover on this. I'm telling you, I like get like I could like physically be back, but my brain sometimes is a little slower. So I'm happy that it's you guys here for this.
Yeah,
We're good.
we're chill.
I love you guys. I knew we had something in common. Right before you guys presented at CTABA, I think was it you, Jen? You were like, okay, I think it's time we take our Xanax now.
Yes.
Before we present. And I was like, my girls. I like it. Speaking of which, it is our time to shine. Have you been watching White Lotus? Anyone?
No.
Oh.
I have not.
No, if you haven't, that's okay. I'll just tell you the main part that you
Tell
know.
me
Like,
I've heard it's a little quirky this year.
No,
This
so
season's
they give a lot of attention to lorazepam, aka Xanax, aka Klonopin, all the same thing. And she just like uses it for any occasion. And I was like, my girl on the show also. I mean, maybe, but so like you kind of had to be there to see it. But don't worry, by the time this episode comes out, I'm sure you'll have watched it because I think we're like literally 5 months out. Am I right? Are we 5 months out?
We're at least 3 months out.
3 months out. So you have 3 months to catch up. Okay.
perfect.
It's good. Anyway, so I do want to take some time to get to know you guys and for the audience to get to know you guys. So we're going to start off with some basics with a fun segment of this or that.
Okay.
And you know what? Actually, I think we're going to do it a little more fun today. You guys are besties. I'm going to let you answer this for one another.
Ooh, okay.
This was not planned, but this is see, my brain is kind of working today. I swear, I feel it like coming back to life over here. All right, so this or that. So Megan, you're going to answer for Jen, and then Jen, you're going to answer for Megan, okay? All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
For both, right? You're saying for each other? Okay, you got the answer. Yeah. Okay. Early bird or night owl?
I'm gonna say early bird now with the kids. Yeah.
Yeah, early bird.
Yeah, 100%. Not by choice.
Yeah.
Road trip or flight?
Flight.
Ooh, flight.
Yes, I hate driving in the car.
Okay. Stay in or go out?
Oh, it depends on the day.
Go out.
I'm gonna say for you go out.
Definitely
for sure.
go out
Yeah.
for me.
I'm like 50-50, so either one's kind of right.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Like, where would you guys go out? Do you guys go out during the week together anywhere or weekends?
During the week, no.
No, but on weekends, yeah.
And we have to schedule it like a months in advance, but we'll go out every once in a while. It's like a dinner, and sometimes it's like a night. We'll have like a night out.
A night.
Is
Depending
it
on how many.
like a
you guys
conference or like a night? Like you're going out?
Oh no, a night. Like dancing, music, bar, dinner.
Where's the last place you guys went together?
I want to say the laundromat was
Yeah.
like our big night out.
Yes, that was a
It's
big
like a bar near us with live music. We did that.
CTABA.
I mean,
we were
CTABA.
out, yeah, we were out there
we
too.
really raged at CTABA.
Did you guys go out?
Not really. We went to the welcome dinner, which was very nice, and then we were where we met you in the bar area of the lobby after. We went out for a cute lunch before that, and then we had to leave right after we talked the next day, so we didn't have time.
Oh yeah, I ran out like right before you guys were speaking because I was chasing Shabbat. I remember I wanted to go to your talk. Podcast or music?
Would you rather podcast?
100%. And for you, I kind of want to say podcast now too, but
yeah, I think we're more into podcasts these days.
Okay,
you can learn something. It's great.
Megan, what podcast is Jen listening to?
Ooh, besides Behavior Bitches.
Good, nice save.
She loves all the gossip ones.
Yes.
Like celebrity gossip.
Mhm.
I don't even know what they
Like
are.
the toast?
Yes. The toast.
Yeah, she loves those.
Anyone that's like late that I could be doing something while listening to it, so I don't have to like rewind and catch back up. Like I can stay with it as I'm doing a chore.
Yeah.
All right, Megan, what's Jen listening to?
Oh, you mean the opposite.
Opposite.
What is it?
No, sorry, I asked you. I didn't ask. Okay, fine. Jen, what is Megan listening to?
Crime podcast, definitely. Like any crime podcast that's out there, she is listening to it.
Me
Cult
too.
podcast as well. If there's a cult, that's being discussed, she'll be listening to that as
Love
well.
cults.
Me
Really
too.
into
Love cults. Actually, recently, what is that? Or I went on this deep dive and said, like that poster of like that Chinese dancing group, Shen
Yes.
Yang?
Yes, yes. Are they a cult?
It's a cult.
Gotta find it right
First note of the session.
Wait, Shen Yang is what it's called, right?
Yeah. I've seen them like
Yes.
hanging
Like,
at,
so
the
it's this,
supermarket.
it's wild. And there's actually a podcast that I listen to looking for it. I watched some YouTubes on it, but it's called like That Sounds Cultish or something.
Oh yeah, I've listened to that one.
Yes, it's actually so interesting. It's like this whole cult organized by the Chinese government. Like those posters are everywhere. Like even like I mean, I remember being in New York City in the subways. I mean, it's all over Dallas too, everywhere.
Yeah,
It's wild.
I've seen them like everywhere. The mall.
Yes,
They have, like
it's a
big
cult. It's a
Yeah.
cult with amazing marketing. All right. Now, call or text, or I'll add one in, voice note.
Definitely not a voice note.
Good.
It's so funny because when we first became friends, it would be like we'd have to text and say, "Can I call you?" Because like it was just like we neither one of us wanted to talk on the phone, but now I think it's phone calls.
Mhm.
Just
And
like
it's so funny. Actually, the funny thing you said is like when we were driving home from Sitiaba, we were in the car together. We drove together, and my husband called on the way home, and I didn't pick up. I like turned the phone off, like muted him because we were talking. And I texted him, I'm on the phone right now, and he goes, "Who could you possibly be on the phone with if Jen is in the car with you?" Because the only person I talk to on the phone besides my husband is Jen. But we were actually on the phone with another coworker, which was like very rare,
Yeah.
but we were.
and he
'Cause
called you on your bullshit. It's true. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who could you
Sweet or salty?
Salty for her.
Sweet for her.
Like what kind
Yeah.
of sweet are we talking about? Like a gummy bear or
No, chocolatey for sure.
chocolate?
Chocolate like a cookie. Cookies are my absolute favorite. Like a nice chocolate chip cookie.
Ooh.
She gave it up for Lent,
I
though.
did give it up for Lent,
So she has not been eating it.
any desserts. No,
For
I thought like jump started diet. It has not, but that's okay.
so it's a month, right?
40
40
days.
days.
Oh wow. So you give all desserts? Did you like operationally define what a dessert is, or you're like
Sure. So there has been a little bit of discussion about my operational definition, but it is anything that you would eat after dinner that is sweet in nature. So like a scone that you would have at breakfast is not a dessert, but a cookie, a brownie, cake is a dessert.
So I did that. I like gave up like I love candy. Like sour candy is I choose it over chocolate any day. Like I could pound like sour straws, Sour Patch Kids, any of that. So then I realized my operational definition did not include like fruit roll-ups and gushers because those are like a fruit snack.
Yes.
So then I started
They're
eating those, which like it felt still like a sacrifice to me because I would much rather have like something much more sour. But
right.
that's why it's so important, everyone, to really operationalize your definition.
We have examples and non-examples.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
We had a party the other day in the classroom, and she's like, "Okay, tell me the options." And I was like, "Well, there's like this bread. It has like blueberries in it. It looks sweet." And she's like, "Okay, that's good. I could take that."
That's a breakfast food. That's fine.
That's like a pick up with your Starbucks order.
Yes.
Yeah.
If Starbucks would sell it, it's not dessert. Right?
There you go.
Yes. Well, the cake pop's questionable, but yes.
Oh,
That's a good.
I agree. But that's for
Yeah.
kids.
They are for
They are
kids.
for kids.
Cook at home or order in?
I want to say order in. For
Yes, totally. I'm too tired by the end of the day to cook. And you're like 50-50, but I think you cook way more than I do. So I'm going to say cook.
Yeah.
What's your go-to cooking that you would make on a regular day? I love knowing people cook for dinner.
We talk about this
Yeah.
literally all the time.
It's such a huge struggle to be planning food and prepping it and making it. My go-to is chicken cutlets. That's like my kids will eat it, my husband will eat it, everyone will eat a chicken cutlet.
Like when you say chicken cutlet, you mean just like chicken breast?
Like fried though.
Oh,
So
like
breast with the bread
like a schnitzel, like what we call schnitzel around here.
Yes.
But the Italian.
The Italian version is the cutlet.
Oh, okay. So like a chicken nugget. We just call it different things.
Yes.
Basically a grown-up
Yeah.
chicken nugget.
Okay, because I thought I was like, your kids will eat just like plain chicken breast.
No. It's gotta be in a nugget form.
Okay. Okay, I respect that. I love it. All right, guys, you guys know each other well. This is amazing. I feel like what I really should have done, I should have inserted like the newlywed game, like your color
Oh,
Literally,
crush.
that's what I felt like we were
We could hold it up, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was like a variation of it, so it was fun. So why don't we start off? I want you guys to tell us a little bit about your story, like how you guys got into the field, how you met. You take it from here. Tell me. I want to hear, and so does everyone
Yeah.
listening.
Okay. Where do we start? College. No. So when I went to Rutgers University in New Jersey, and I wanted a job because in order to have your car on campus as an undergrad, you had to prove that you had a job to drive to. So I was like searching because I wanted to have my car. That was like really important, I guess, back then. And I moved
That's a
next.
flex in college if you're the person who has a car.
Yeah. Exactly. And there was a playground right near my dorm. And I was like, I like kids. Like, I wonder if they're hiring. So I like applied for a job there, which the irony is that I just walked because it was literally right next door. I couldn't drive my car if I tried. It was the same parking lot. And I applied for the job and I got the job. It was like an after school program. I was like, I love little kids. So cute. And day one, I walked in, literally having no idea what autism was. And it was a school for kids with autism. And they were like, oh, do you know what autism is? And I was like, yeah, I'll figure it out. And they're like, okay, this is the student you'll be with. And it was a 21-year-old. And at the time I was only 19. And he was on the spectrum, engaged in severe self-injury. He was non-vocal. And I was like, literally like a fish out of water. I was like, wait, are we playing on the playground? Like, what is happening here? And I was like, I don't know if I could do this, but I stuck it out for the semester and I literally wound up just loving it. And so I actually changed majors. I was originally a criminal justice major, hence my
Wow.
love for crime podcasts. And so I changed my major and kind of just started. I stayed working there all throughout my undergrad. I wound up going to grad school at Rutgers. I did their special ed program, their BCBA classes. So I kind of did everything there. And while I was there, I actually met Jen's husband. We worked together.
Were they married
you.
yet?
Not yet. No,
No.
we were just young college kids. And
Okay.
yeah, so we started working there. And then Jen came, and she's a little younger than me, a little bit. And worked there. We never actually worked together when we worked there. But then we started taking grad classes and I kind of knew her husband. So we were in grad classes together. We started talking and we would hang out and I was always like, oh, she's cool. And then when I left the private sector, so we worked at a center-based facility at the university.
Okay.
I went to public school. And although I didn't really know Jen, we weren't like friends. We were just kind of acquaintances. Yeah. I knew that the district was looking for a BCBA and I knew they were going to kind of be working with me. So I was like, well, I want someone who's good. Like, who do I know? So I went through all my resources and I was like, there was this girl in grad school who was so smart. It was annoying. This one. We had to take like a statistics class in grad school and basically the professor was like, as long as you show up, like I'll pass you. Like, who does statistics in special ed? And I was horrible at it. I literally I don't even know how I passed. I think just because the professor thought I was nice. And every class he'd ask
I think that's the benefit of being a special ed major. Like, they need to be like more understanding.
Yes.
And different things like A for yeah.
Higher level math, so I'm good. And she knew every answer, and I would be so annoyed by her because she didn't even think. She was just like, "Oh, I know the answer," and I'm like, "Who is this person?" But anyway, so I brought her to a bar. Actually, it was like a date, and I was like, "So let me tell you all the great things about public school. Come work with me." And really, it's just because I wanted someone who was really smart. And she came, and then we kind
How
of.
many years ago was this?
This was 9 years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So same thing, like in all of our like BCBA coursework, same thing. She like was the smart girl in class, and I was like, I need those brains. Let's bring her to public school. So then we started working together. And it's funny because people have assumed that we've been best friends forever, but really, we kind of became friends when we went to public school, and then we kind of just had very similar like life trajectories. I had my daughter, then she had her daughter, then I had my son, and then she had her son, kind of back to back. So we kind of have like
And public school is also, I think, like any like working in special ed or public school is really like shared adversity, kind of like pledging. You get close.
Yes.
And it was really challenging. I'm sure we could get to that, but it was really challenging going from like clinic-based setting to a public school. You know, we were used to things being done a very particular research-based way. And
Totally.
you go to public school and want it to be like that, but obviously there's so many barriers that it was really hard at first for us to be like, why are people doing this? Like,
Yes.
that's not what you do. But also then realizing it's public school, right? And that you kind of have to shift with the population that you're working with and the people you're working with. So that's kind of like how we met and we got into the field. I'll let Jen tell her. She also accidentally got into
I
the
accidentally
field.
got into the field too, but I was at Rutgers for my undergrad as well, and I had been changing my mind back and forth about what I wanted to do, and was in the 5-year program for a master's in education, and then decided that wasn't for me. And I was really set on going for speech therapy, like graduate school for speech therapy. But during my senior year, I was looking for a really easy 3 credits at the end of my time there, and I signed up for a fieldwork course at what I thought was the Douglas Daycare. But instead rolled up the first day into the Douglas Developmental Disability Center, which was the school where Megan worked with kids with autism. And I remember walking in the first day just asking, like, is this where I should be? And they're like, yep, this is what you signed up for. And I was like, okay, cool. But I loved it. And I mean, I realized really quickly it wasn't what I thought I signed up for, but it was such a cool experience. And everyone there was so talented and so patient and so gifted in what they were doing that I just knew that it's what I wanted to do. So I ended up applying for a job right after I graduated, and I got it as a teaching assistant. That is where I met my husband, who was also working there at the time. And then we started grad classes. So Megan, my husband, and I all did our masters.
Oh,
We sat for
wow.
BCBA coursework. My husband and I sat for the BCBA exam at the same time. And so
Wow.
we,
Like at the
yeah,
same testing center?
2 days apart, but at the same testing center. And this is 10 years ago now. So you had to wait 6 weeks to find out if you passed.
Yes.
And there was very limited resources, like now social media and SNABA and everything. Like there's so many people you can connect
Oh
with.
my God, the energy in the house for that 6 weeks must have been
It was something special. We took it in November. We found out like right after the new year in January that we had both passed.
I
But
like
I remember,
it's not fair that people don't have to wait anymore,
I
right?
know. It really gives you some street cred to have to like wait those 6 weeks not knowing
I
if you
mean,
passed.
first of all, like, on, like, a immediacy of reinforcement perspective, like, that was ridiculous that they made us wait like that.
Wait a
But, like,
long
the
and
people
it's
who get it immediately, I'm like, "What the hell?" Like,
I
you
know.
don't know what to do with yourself. You're like, "Do I keep studying? Do I not? Do I, like, chill? Do I do that?" You know?
I remember,
Anyways,
yes,
okay, that's amazing, both you guys. So you are married to a BCBA?
I am.
Wow. Okay,
It's a whole nother
cool.
That's a whole nother episode. Yes. So yes, I'm married to a BCBA. He also is now in public schools as well. And it's nice. We can definitely collaborate and bounce ideas off one another, but his public school experience and our public school experience are very different. And so it is interesting to see how, things are varied across schools, even in the same state, like 30 minutes apart. So we love where we work, and we feel really lucky to have the resources that we have and the opportunities that we can like educate and share these strategies with everyone. But I know that that's sometimes an uphill battle for a lot of people in public schools.
So you feel like the district that you work in has more resources?
Yes.
a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
a
Okay,
lot
because
more
I mean, yeah, that
resources.
is a common complaint of not just, BCBAs, but I know, like, my background in special ed, always was a resource issue in different places. So
Yeah. Even when we go to do the talks, like we did at CTABA, we did the same similar talk at Autism New Jersey. And at the end, people come up to us and like, we love your ideas. Like, these are so great. We wish you could do them. Like, our district doesn't have the resources, right? So now when we've done some podcasts talking about it, we always put this caveat in, like, we understand that we are very lucky that we have the resources to do the things. And like, here are ideas of things you can do that might not be exactly what we were able to do, but we were just so lucky because we just work in a district that fortunately has resources and money and a lot of staff and people who are really educated. So
And they're willing to invest in the program, right?
that's
So I think
huge.
the value in investing in it and being able to keep students within the district and not paying for out of district schools. And there's so many opportunities when you're in the public school with peer interactions, those social opportunities, and just that like community feel. that, we're really lucky that they want to try to keep as many students as we can within the
Yeah.
district.
I mean, it seems like they're smart. They see that. I mean, it probably actually ends up costing less when you invest up front.
Oh, well, we've told them that.
Yeah.
I
We've
know, but
like
like you could say this, but I feel like a lot of places don't take it seriously, you know?
no, you're right. It's true. I mean, it definitely took time, I
Yeah.
think, to like build up the ABA program in the public school. But once we really like showed them, and I think they literally saw the numbers, it was like, oh, okay, you're right. Like from the business side, it does save the district a ton of money. Even just transportation alone, like, is
Yes.
so expensive.
There's so many different parts to look at. So what do you
Yeah.
guys do? Like, so we have the two of you guys traveling around being these cool besties. What does a day in your life look like?
Yeah, so I think our normal day, we both have two little kids, so I think most of our time is being mom. When we're not mom, we work in the public school, and we run like the ABA program, and we're really invested in that. But during COVID, actually, we as most good projects came out of COVID, we were like, let's do more, and so we started our like social media, just like everybody else.
Mhm.
And we were trying to think of a name. We sat there for like hours and
Yes,
we're
a
like,
long
what do we
time.
do all the time? We're moms. We like behavior. So we named ourselves Moms
Awesome.
Managing Behavior. And it actually also came
Brilliant.
about all of our friends reach out to us
Yes.
and they're like, okay, my kid, I'm trying to like potty train. Like, what should I do? Or like, my kid's having a hard time at school and the teacher says, they're not following through with their work. What can I do? So we became this like sounding board for all of our friends that we were like, hey, why don't we just like do this online and then maybe people will listen because it seems like we all have the same questions. So we started kind of during COVID doing that, being that we couldn't leave anywhere and we
Yeah.
had a
And I
newborn at
think
home.
people like it was like such like concentrated incidences of like seeing your kids doing things. Like when you're that close to them
Yeah.
all day long.
A hundred
And the
percent.
education piece too, right? Seeing their struggles with accessing education. And obviously it looked really different, but you're hearing the teacher say one thing, you're not seeing it at home because the expectations are so different. But now you're seeing firsthand some of the challenges you may have been hearing from the teachers over the past couple years and wanting to help to, let them succeed during that time.
Yeah. So that's kind of how we got started doing that. And so now, we work at the school, we kind of run this business, Moms Managing Behavior. We've kind of pivoted now that we're back out into the world to doing more in person. So doing talks, kind of, all around, and doing professional development with other districts. So again, trying to show what we've done in our district, what's been successful, and having other districts do it. And also that parent training piece. And again, not just for kids on the spectrum. All kids, right? Because there's a lot of kids who just need help or parents who need help. We actually find that most questions that people ask are just basic parenting questions and just using basic principles of behavior, you can figure them out. And so that's kind of what we do. And then, we never stop. We're always like thinking of new things. So our newest kind of passion project we started about
Like a month or two ago?
a month or two ago is we started Jen calls it our nonprofit.
It's a very nonprofit.
We make $0 doing it, but we are working with a community where we teach the town, and doing trainings for the businesses on how to be more inclusive. So it's called the Millburn, that's the town it's in. So the Millburn Autism Alliance, where we provide trainings to local restaurants, local dentists, doctors, different offices, in hopes to make them become a more inclusive place.
I love
Um,
that.
yeah, so that's kind of been like our newest. So, we're going to meetings, going out and meeting with business owners. We've done a lot
Providing
of trainings,
Is that for
virtually.
like them hiring individuals with autism or for like if you like a dentist, like, hey, this is how you could better be a
Yes. So
treat?
accommodations, modifications that you can incorporate. So one of the, it is we're recording in April, it's Autism Acceptance Month, but we're trying to help get away from just labeling something as an inclusive event without actually doing the work to provide the accommodations that individuals may need. So we work with these businesses, seeing their space, figuring out what they could incorporate, whether it's during a certain period of time or across the board, to allow families to come in and feel more comfortable in that environment and have it be more successful for them.
Wow, I love so like they could go in maybe ahead of their kid's actual dentist appointment and go see the
Yes.
space?
Seeing the space, social narratives. We have visual schedules. or they can send us pictures. We could do as much or as little as businesses want, but making everything really user friendly. And one of our ideas, like Megan mentioned, is QR codes, right? So we can just have them available that anyone who goes in who would benefit from that can scan, right? So a lot of kids benefit from a social narrative before
Totally.
going to the for the first time. My son just went for the first time, and we talked about it for days before we went, right? Just so he knew what to expect. So it's not just necessarily for individuals on the spectrum, but anyone who might benefit from, preparation and visuals and extra support.
That's so smart. But tell me, okay, so how old are your kids?
So mine are 6 and 3.5. You would be mad if I said 3 only. So
And 7.5. So
7
they're
and
7.
4. I know from the day that they're that age, they're then a half. Like, yeah, I know Kobe also just
yeah,
turned 4 and he's
he's
4 and a half.
important. Yes.
Yeah.
It's very important.
So with that and working at a public school, where do you find time for this?
At night, really late at night, most of the time. I think we feel really passionately about these projects that we're doing, and education is just, the foundation for all of these endeavors to be successful. So it's really just putting ourselves out there and trying to get the information out to everyone, because it's one thing to there's a stigma sometimes around ABA in general, right? So one of
Totally.
our areas is to work on reducing that stigma. We do on our social media, we'll do posts of ABAs everywhere and just where you can find an ABA strategy in your everyday life,
Love
because
it.
it is all around us. I tried to get a video the other day. There was a cone in the middle of the walkway, and how many people were like walking, stopping, and moving around it. I'm like, what a good stimulus cue to tell you that you have to move around it, right? But it's there. So
Totally.
helping
I love
parents,
that.
right? Helping parents feel empowered that we're telling you what to do, taking the jargon out of it, but you are doing ABA as a good parent and as a good teacher, and just then spreading it to the businesses as well to say, it's not scary to offer accommodations, and it's okay to move someone to a different area if they feel more comfortable there. But a lot of these are just a lack of knowing because it's not their area of expertise. So we want to bring our area of expertise to them and just make it really accessible for everyone.
How are these businesses typically responding? Do you find? Are they receptive?
Some,
Yeah.
yes. So restaurant businesses are hard. They're busy, they have weird schedules. So we definitely find the businesses that are really interested seem to be more doctors and dentists, because I think they are going to have these patients regardless. And so if they had extra strategies, they would really like it. Kind of breaking into the restaurant field has been hard. One incentive we've started is that if you do a training with us and kind of take a survey/quiz kind of proving that you've done a training with us, is that we'll give them a logo sticker to put on their business, showing that they are an inclusively trained
Oh, that's brilliant.
facility. Yeah. And so from a business perspective, we're trying to explain to them this will bring in business, because a lot of families, and we know the population in the town, being that we work in the district, there are a ton of families, because it's a really well funded area. There's a ton of families who move to this community for the services. So these are families that are looking to go out to eat on a Tuesday night. What could we do to help promote the business, to know? And we've had parents reach out to us, give us a list of the restaurants. We're working with a local organization in the town that's already very established, that's putting it up on their website. So if people have the training, parents can go and say, oh, look,
That's
these
so
are,
smart. Because
the
otherwise,
training.
that makes so much sense. I love that. Do you guys have it on
Yeah.
a website, on your own website?
So we don't have it on our website of Moms. We do have it on our social media for the Millburn Autism Alliance. We're including the businesses that have participated. This is a newer project, so we're only a couple months in, and we're trying to navigate, the relationships with a lot of these businesses, which we've had some help. But there are some events coming up that we are hoping to showcase what we are offering,
So
and to
cool.
see, who else would like to jump on board. And one of the benefits of working in the field for so long is we have a lot of parents that we either currently work with or we have worked with, who are the eyes and ears on the ground of what they need, right? So we know from an education standpoint what might benefit their children, but obviously they're the ones going out into the community most often. So what are they looking for? What are some of the opportunities they're hoping to access? And then we can also bring that to the businesses and say, hey, everyone really is looking for, which we always get this one, an autism friendly swim class, right? Swim lessons. So how can we help you become more accommodating or friendly to this population, because everyone's asking for it. So
It's
that's been
also
helpful.
giving them free consulting.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
mean, because I
free.
know Isabella, who's here working downstairs, she comes I said every now and then she'll come say her son goes to one of the schools here specialize in autism, one of the private schools, and she comes in here every day whenever she does come in with like this like wrap and this like coffee from the specific place, and she like drives to the opposite end of the world, I swear, to go here because she's like one of the families who has a son on the spectrum. They have this place, and so like the loyalty
yeah,
is there if you're in the community. Like it is in their best interest. Like literally drives from like I don't know how many miles is that. I don't know, probably like 20 miles from like Dallas to like far Plano because
yeah,
of the loyalty. So, like, it is also in their best interest of the business, you know?
yeah. We tell the businesses that. We're like, the autism community is very loyal. They're very vocal. I'm sure you've been on a, or any social media site, but
Totally.
like, they're a very vocal community one way or the other. So like, if you want to get good marketing, this is perfect free marketing for you, because once you say, one place you had a successful visit with your son or daughter and it was challenging and it went well, then you're going to get other businesses. And so like our goal, as moms managing behavior too, is to do this in lots of communities and kind of promote ways that communities can kind of start up these
Mhm.
programs themselves, right? And make sure that you're doing it, because at the end of the day, it is going to help the businesses, but obviously also help, you know, the people who, are neurodiverse be able to feel comfortable going out into
Yeah, and
community.
feel like they have, like, options.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
Which and
amazing.
a lot of the options too are easy, right? So like we had a few that were like calling ahead, being able to call ahead to order your kids' meal, right? So they don't have to wait if that's a challenge. Requesting different tables so that they have more room to move around, right? And I think parents often feel maybe embarrassed or they don't know if they can ask and they're afraid of what that answer is going to be if they do ask for an accommodation. So just giving a menu of like, we do offer these services if you benefit from them is just takes that anxiety away from anyone who's also attending.
Totally, and just, like, those are such when I think about, like, just, like, pragmatic approaches that maybe, like, when you're a parent, like, you're stressed about these things, you're not thinking of them. You're not like, "Oh, well, I could ask for something that's, like, in a quieter like, not under the speaker," you know?
Right.
Mhm.
So, like, even the fact that you're mentioning those things, you're like, "That might be a good idea." Like, that
Yes.
alone is just I mean, it's so smart to do that because I really think, like, when you're first of all, I could tell you even just having a kid, even, like, a kid not on the spectrum, like, when you're, like, in, like, "I gotta get something figured out," your brain's not working clearly at all.
100%.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
when it's like so, like, just giving those things is so smart and, like, what's it for the business? It's like there's
Right.
really no risk for them.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say everything we're suggesting to them, with the exception of like headphones or fidgets, are free. Like, and we're willing to provide the materials for them. So the QR codes will make the materials and then provide them, so that it's really just about them being willing to use
I
them.
love that.
Yeah. Even just making the workers more aware, right? So we do a lot of trainings about AAC devices, and making just the community more aware of that. And, I think sometimes you go to a restaurant, we do it with students, right? You go out to a restaurant, you go to a person who uses some sort of like augmentative communication, and they ask, what do they want to eat? And they're like looking at the parent. And it's like, no, ask the child, give them the wait time, let them also participate as a member of the community. So that's another one we feel really strongly about. We actually have an upcoming talk about that one too, about just like increasing the AAC usage with both parents and with the community members. Like, don't be afraid of it, and just be accepting that people just speak differently. And we do a lot of trainings in the public school about that. We actually train the gen ed students on the AC devices. We let them play with them, which they love because, kids love any access to an
Totally.
iPad. And I think it really teaches two things. It teaches them better like empathy and understanding of the students who, communicate differently than them. And also lets them understand how challenging it is, right? So we give an example, we'll have them, ask a friend what their favorite color is. And now, these are two neurotypical kids talking to each other
Right.
on the device, and they see how long it takes. It's not like it's just the word just comes out of your mouth. You have to like go to a folder, go to this folder, go to this. And once they realize how difficult that is, they're like, oh, okay. And it gives them, when they go to ask a friend who's like on the spectrum or using a device, more wait time. Like, it's not that they don't want to respond to you. It just takes a long time. Like, you physically see how long it takes. And so we've, again, done that in the school. And we really kind of want to branch that now more towards parents and the
That's
community.
so smart because I think, like, someone else seeing it would be like, "Oh my god, I could type this up in, like, 3 seconds," but
Right.
not realizing and there's actually, like I've seen, like, some cool exercise done where it's like you might ask them, like, some, like, open-ended question, like, "Oh, was it a bad breakup or something?" Or like
Yes.
And it's like, good luck with these
Yes.
200 words you have, really breaking this down for someone, and like giving someone the opportunity to be like, it's not as simple as you think it may be.
Yeah.
No. And I think to Megan's point too, we're always looking to change our students' behavior, right? Like we're trying to teach the social skills. We're reducing the challenging behavior. We're, incorporating all these skill acquisition programs, but it's also the community members' behavior that needs to change as well, right? So we could have the best social skills program and someone could master all of their goals, but if they go to an environment where it's not accepting or welcoming or
Totally.
conducive for them to use them, it's not beneficial, right? So I always say, like, again, ABA is not just for kids, is not just for individuals on the spectrum, but like using those strategies to help shape the behavior of other people as well.
Like all the stakeholders involved.
Exactly.
Amazing.
It's behavior bitches.
Hey, it's Liat. Want $100 off the Live Collective? Well, right now you can get that using coupon code EARLYAF. You'll get 12 weeks, which is filled with 24 classes of every single thing you need to know for the BCBA or BCABA exam. We will be your study trainers with everything you should be doing at exactly what time. If you're stressed about looking at the Cooper book, fear no more, we're here. Head on over to studynotesaba.com/collectives and grab your seat. Hey guys, we did it again. We made the boring not boring. We've done it a couple times and now we're just getting really good at it. Have you checked out our SAF meds? What are the SAF meds? Well, if you know what it stands for, all my ABA nerds out there, say all fast minute every day. We've taken the standard SAF meds and made them actually funny. I mean, imagine playing Marry, Fuck, Kill or Would You Rather with SAF meds. We have 5 crazy game variations, all the data sheets you need to track your fluency, understanding the ABA terms. If you're looking for fun ways to study, this is it. I know a lot of you guys, like myself, had bad experiences with having to make SAF meds in college, but we have made over 560 snabified SAF meds for you. This took over 2 years in the making. They're perfectly thick. I'm very into how something feels. They're color-coded. They're already made for you that you could grab it, have it ready to go. So head on over to studynotesaba.com and get your SAF meds now. I know you're bringing this access to the community. Are you seeing that there's some reoccurring common misconceptions that people have about individuals with autism or individuals with special needs?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think one is that if an individual can speak like verbally, that they automatically have all of the skills they need to be in an environment, which we know that that's not true. And on the flip side, if someone's using an augmentative mode of communication, that they don't have the skills. And it's kind of this like preconceived notion that like you should be able to do it versus you can't do it. And really just breaking down that stigma that you really are meeting each individual where they're at. And it doesn't matter how they're communicating, but I do think when we're thinking about social skills, that's a big piece to it is how you're communicating, which is where that education comes in to say like, yes, everyone's communicating. It might look a little different, but we have students who use AAC that are more social than our students who are verbal communicators. So it just is a matter of getting to know each individual.
Yeah. And the whole push, originally like autism awareness, and now we've kind of moved more towards acceptance, right? I think people in the world are more aware of autism. There's a lot of campaigns out there, that talk about autism, and you definitely hear more about it. But what we actually find, just like Jen was saying, is that the acceptance, we actually find that people are more accepting of kids who are maybe have more outwardly challenging behaviors than maybe students who are super verbal, where their behaviors are maybe saying inappropriate things or something like that, as opposed to like having a physical meltdown on the ground. So that's something we find really interesting, especially in the community. I mean, and in schools, right? It's like if a kid, I hate to say it for lack of better words, but like physically looks like they have more impairments, people are like more understanding than
Totally.
for kids who maybe, can go to a gen ed class and have really high academic skills, but then engage in a challenging behavior. There's like zero tolerance.
I mean,
And
I
we
just
see,
remember like growing up even with my brother, he like looked totally typically normal,
Mhm.
but then it's like, he'd go and bite a kid or something. But like he's walking around normally the rest of the time or like pull someone's hair and it's like, "Oh my god, your kid is so out of control." Like get your kid under control. And it's like
Yeah.
because he looked, like the other kids there and I just remember that so clearly like being such a struggle for my mom being
Mhm.
places and being like
Yeah.
so
It's
just
like
like
the
that
invisibility.
awareness.
Yeah. It's like if you don't physically see it, people don't understand. And even people who are very educated, they
Yeah.
just have a hard time. Like if they can do so much, they must be purposefully having these behaviors. And I think it takes people, it's a lot of education is still needed, that everybody's brains do work differently, and depending on their skill set does not necessarily mean their strength is being able to tolerate things the same. And I think that's
Totally.
been really,
And, like, we're around it so much, but, like, for example, the other day, I got asked there was a group of these, like, 12-year-old boys who, for their bar mitzvah project, they wanted to get involved with the Friendship Circle, an organization here. So they asked
we
if
have,
I would come speak to. Do you guys know it? It's pretty big, I
yeah, we
Yes.
think
have
Yeah.
also in
it.
Jersey. Yeah, in
Yeah.
Jersey, it's pretty big. So they're like, "Oh, would you come speak to these boys?" Also, by the way, I did not prep anything ahead of time, I was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna go in, whatever, and talk to them." And so, like, I go
So
in, like,
scary.
in truly out fashion. I probably should have, like, had a little something, but I'm like, "Alright, so what do you guys know about individuals with autism?" You know? And, like, I guess, like, it's so interesting because like, we're usually like, I'm teaching these nitty-gritty of, like, things on the test, reinforcement, punishment, this, that you kind of forget, like, going out into the public, certain things that, like so I'm asking, and like, what was one of the first things one of the kids said? One said, "They're super competitive. People with autism are super competitive." I'm like, "Okay, that might be something you've seen, maybe." And then what was another one? Do you remember any of them, Martha? They might get aggressive, maybe aggressive. They like to be loud. They like to finish things first. So it was like, and I was like sitting there and I was like, I was going through the talk of like, well, when you've seen one person with autism, you've seen one person with autism. Like there, it's such a big spectrum. It could be, someone who's doing this or someone. And I was like, whoa, it actually is like so good to like come back to like realizing like this is who needs the education because it is such a large spectrum, and I was like, maybe this person did meet one person who maybe had autism, maybe they were competitive in a game, and it maybe, like, really went back to their social skills of having, like, 0, like, reading the other person that they were upset they weren't winning. I don't know, but it was just, like, I guess we're around it so much or talking about it so much that it's like, "Oh, yeah, of course," but you kinda forget that, like, the whole world really does need this education.
Mhm.
That's our end goal, right? The whole world. But
Yeah.
working in schools, it is nice because we can start that education in kindergarten, right? That's our lowest grade in the school we work in. So as the students are going through the years, like the students that we work with who are on the spectrum and might be in a different classroom, on the day to day, are familiar, right? So they're doing the AAC training, they're included in as many activities as they can, right? And shaping their understanding of autism or disabilities from a young age is the foundation, right? So that they feel confident interacting with them and they're aware of what's going on. Whereas, again, some of the communities or the community that we do work with, it is more adults, right? So their experiences probably look really different when they were in school years and years ago. So it is different. But I think to your point, if we can start the education at a younger age, it just is going to set everyone up for success as they grow.
And it's just so important because I just like I mean, I was even telling these young boys as example, they started asking things about my brother. So, like it was supposed to be me and my brother doing this talk together. But obviously in true my brother fashion, decides not to come last minute. He doesn't want to go. I was like, that's what it's kind of like having a brother with, differences. Maybe last minute he may not come.
Yeah.
But they were like asking different questions or like, well, where's he going to live? What's he going to do? Like, what if he doesn't want to do this? And I was like, those are all things that we're thinking about. Like, right? Like, you guys kind of have this plan. Like, you're going to go to college. Hopefully you go to college. You know what you want to study? One of them's like, I want to be a basketball player. I want to be a this. And I was like, listen, Jewish kid, you're probably not going to make it on the basketball team. So please just try something else. But your parents haven't told you that yet. Um, but at the same time, I was like, if these kids understand this now, what they like, I was like, well, what are some things maybe that you could do to like include these individuals?
Yeah.
And
We actually did that huge initiative about that at our school. Like, what could you do to include? That was like
Yeah.
our whole focus this year.
and what were the responses? What were the
Um, some of them were funny.
Some were quite interesting, but yeah,
like
like
be nice, be
yeah, be
nice.
nice, kind. Um, some like specifically called out specific kids on the spectrum in the school, like help this kid at lunch or sit with a friend at lunch or play on the playground. So I really think they are starting to get it,
Mhm.
because we make such a push at such a young age about what it means to be inclusive and to ask the questions, because
Some
I think, like,
kids, like I have to say, like it almost seemed like they had a sibling or something, but they didn't. Like, could really like they were able to see it. Like these 12-year-old boys are like something like I mean, I know I had a sibling. So like I was able to say certain things like, like give him more time to do whatever. But some of these kids, the one kid was like, maybe let them talk about things they want to talk about, even if it's not that interesting to me. And I was like, whoa, like you've got this.
Yeah.
Like some kids like really pick up on it. It was amazing.
Behavior analysts,
Yeah,
that's what
right.
they are.
But ask an adult that question, and I don't think they'd be able to like answer it. I feel
And
like
like
kids.
it was one of the same kid asked another question or something. It was along the lines of like, I mean, there's certain kids who are there obviously like this is for their bar mitzvah project. They like are there to like, learn it, whatever it is. They're young. But the other kid was like, is it okay if like they do want to talk about like whatever they want to talk about, but I kind of like redirect to talk about something else? I was like, sure, that's actually a great idea. Why don't you tell them like, hey, you know what? That's really interesting. That is cool about dinosaurs, but I actually want to talk about my football game I played yesterday? And I was like, this kid has got it. Like he's 12. He's
Yeah.
asking if he could like, sure, do it. You
Well,
know?
that's the other thing too, is like you shouldn't have, not everyone needs a full free pass, right? You need to be included and accepted, and we need to acknowledge everyone's differences, but it's not a free pass to, do anything that's inappropriate. So even in the high school, we have a student who does touch and want to hold hands with people. And we had this whole conversation to the peers that they're with and say, like, if you're uncomfortable, you have a right to say, like, please don't do that. Like, it's not wrong of you to say that, right? There's a right way to say it though. And it's just, not being rude or dismissive, but everyone needs to have their own autonomy as well. But just, I think, understanding why they might be doing that and giving them those alternatives. So now they'll be able to say, like, do you want a handshake or a high five, right? Like, we're not going to hold hands right now. And even that is just a learning curve for a lot of individuals and students.
Totally. I mean, it's just, I feel like every individual that you could like really educate on this, it goes so far. That was my one thing. I was like, listen, I'm going to give you guys homework today. I'm not usually one to come and give homework, but I want you to go teach someone, whether it's your sibling, what you learned about today. Like, tell me like 3 things, and I need you to guys to write down, and then I'll let you out of here. Because like I realize like if every single person spread the word a little further, like we really could make such a difference.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think kids are interested.
Mhm.
We one of the big projects that we always talk about is we started in our school reverse inclusion, because we were having students. So we're mostly in a self-contained program, and so again, wanting to go to inclusion, like how could we do this? And we found that just kind of throwing kids who were in self-contained into a gen ed class with triple the number of students and so much more barriers, it was not successful. And so we kind of over the years have developed this reverse inclusion where we have the gen ed students come into our classroom. So we're kind of doing stuff on our turf, and it makes the students so much more comfortable for being there. And we can run behavior plans, and we have their break areas, and we have all their reinforcers, and we have everything we need. We're not going into another classroom like carrying a beanbag or all of these things that we might need. And one of our biggest fears doing this is that we wouldn't get people to sign up for it. Like why would kids want to come to like the special ed classroom, right? And I think over the years we've been so pleasantly surprised that we actually get so many kids sign up that we can't even have them all come. That we
Wow.
actually have a waiting list, literally. And they have to get parental permission too to do it because they are missing part of their school day to come into our classroom. And so that was another thing I was worried about, that parents would be like, I don't want you doing this. Like, I don't want you going into the self-contained class. I want you to, focus on your academics. But the parents have all signed, and we've gotten so many kids over the years, and it's been such a wonderful program. Again, not
Amazing.
just for our students, obviously, to be able to work on social skills and all the things we need to work on in their comfort. But for the other students, I think that has been, and I think the school sees that, like administration, and they're really on board with making this work because they're realizing it's benefiting everyone. It's not just, we originally did it to benefit our students, right? But we actually found that I think it's benefiting everyone. And even the parents of the, gen ed students have come up to us and been like, my child loves this. They love to participate. I think they feel like a leader. They're learning so many skills. And so it's been really successful. And again, I think it just goes to show you that, we're getting closer to a place of this kind of
Totally.
acceptance, which is,
I think that's
Or
amazing. Like no matter what their MO is, even if it's like, hey, I get a break out of class, whatever, but they're in there. Like who cares? They're in there, whatever the reason is, and they're getting exposed. And I
absolutely.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah, and we
and we
literally do the same thing. Like we pair with them when they come in. We make the first few ones. We give them
a lot of
verbal cues.
reinforcement.
Yeah, lots of reinforcement. We give them examples. We give them text prompts of like what you could ask a friend because little kids are nervous to talk to
Totally.
anyone. Right. So we do all the same strategies we would use
I
in
think
our.
that's a huge part of it too. I think there's like this like nervous of the unknown. It's like I don't know if I want to go like, and I think like that's what I if I would have done a little more planning before my presentation to these kids, I was trying to get to them being like, dude, confidence is hot. Listen, boys, when you guys start dating, let me tell you, they're gonna like confidence, whoever you're dating. And it's cool that you feel you could be friends with anyone. You're not ashamed. You think that's cool. That just shows
Yeah.
that you're comfortable with who you are. I don't know if they were there yet to grab onto it, but I was really trying to be like, confidence is cool, guys.
No, it really is.
Trying to tell them.
We also do a club after
Yes.
school too that's similar to the reverse inclusion, where we have there were clubs being offered, and we had some of the families within our program want their child to participate, and unfortunately it often wasn't super successful, given that there was like no one-to-one para and different teachers. So we also now run a club once a week, and the topic has changed, but it's again an inclusion club. So the students within our program can join, and any other student in the school can participate as well. And we say we always get like the really nice kids who are, I'm like, you're going to be a teacher someday.
You're a
And, like,
future
we
BCBA.
want you in this class. But it's been another great experience too, because now they're voluntarily coming at the end of the day, and honestly, the parents are paying for them to do the club through the school. And I said, I think they enjoy coming to it because for the same reason, it's structured. We're friendly. We provide reinforcement. It's really clear what the expectation is, and everyone is included, right? So there's no one sitting out. There's no, negative feedback, and everyone's really learning a lot from each other in that class. So we did a full social skills, a couple sessions of that, and then we kind of branched out to like sports, which was a little bit of a fail. And now we're doing wellness clubs, so we do different wellness activities.
So
But
I
it's
love
been
that. I don't know if you guys have it at your school. I was always involved in Partners PE, where it was like,
I,
as your
I
PE
think
credit, you could be like in the special education PE class as like partners for the students. So we had that
yeah.
as like your PE credit.
So
I
in
love
the
that.
middle school and the high school, they have those as well. I'm not sure how the credits work these days, but and an art class at the high school. So there's unified classes where it is inclusive, and it's so nice. I get to sometimes go to the unified class at the art class at the high school, and the kids are phenomenal. Like all of the staff are just standing back. They're really taking cues from each other, and it really is. It's just that's the community feel, right? So everyone's comfortable, and the confidence, and like who's fist bumping who, like just like you would like any other of your friends. It just happens that they're in a different class most of the day. So it's great.
I love that. So before we end off, because I know we're making time, what are you most excited about what you're working on right now out of all your projects? Because it seems like, I mean, I could just imagine you guys are saying it, make it sound easy, but I could see that like this takes after school time, this takes during school time, this takes nighttime. So what obviously there's passion behind this that's keeping you going. I that I know for sure. But what are you most excited about out of all the things you're working on? This could be separate for both of you.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's just, we're educators at heart. So we don't mind if we're educating students or if we're educating parents or if we're educating the community. Like, that's just what we feel strongly. So, in the kind of underlying thing in all of this is just that we like to educate people. I think the community one right now seems to be, something we feel really strongly about. And we were, are really hoping this picks up not just in our local town, but kind of all over. I think education changes people's perspectives on things so much if people just give you the time to tell them. And I think it could really help with a lot of areas in the world. But I think, specifically, for working with neurodiverse people, I think, community-based things is really what we're really focusing
Yeah.
on to try to really make a difference. And we were actually talking about you, obviously, prior to the podcast, and how like you do this for people who are studying to take the BCBA exam. And like we are basically trying to do the same thing, just a different population, right? So using our outlets wherever we can to teach parents, to teach community members, and to make it fun and cool, right? Like you make it
You guys
fun.
are
So
fun and cool. No, you guys like alone. You're like, oh, I want to be best friends with them. That's the energy you give off. So keep doing
yeah,
that.
and that's what we're hoping, right? We don't want to come and like give these talks or give these spiels to adults or community members that it just sounds very jargon based, but just giving them examples, like, and just teaching them how to do it themselves. I'm not going to teach you how to change one thing, but if I can teach you the concept of reinforcement, that's just a basic thing that changes so much.
Totally.
And so if we could just teach that in a cool way and actually show you that you're already doing it,
Yes.
like how we're doing like the ABA is everywhere, like you're doing these strategies often. And if you're not, you should be.
Yeah.
And just making it like fun and cool and relatable to people, because that's where we're going to get the buy-in. So I feel like we're trying to take our platform and we love to listen to all your stuff and really see how like you're able to reach people just by being real. And I think that is kind of where we're trying to go. I feel like we have the knowledge, we know what we want to do, we have the resources to do it. We just want people to be receptive of what we're teaching.
Yeah. And I think
I want to hear, yeah, what are you excited? I love what you guys are doing. And by the way, I want everyone to know where to find you after you tell us what you're most excited about.
Okay. And I was going to say education as well. But to piggyback on that too, just shaping and changing behavior, right? That's why I became a behavior analyst. That's my job at home, at school, in the community, and just using those principles to help everyone feel empowered and confident to interact with anyone, to support anyone in a difficult situation, and to feel like they can use the tools, right? So it starts with the education in terms of, what is ABA? What are these strategies? How can I use them? And like Megan said too, it's not, I always say it's like a toolbox. I want to give you a toolbox. So when you're having a difficult moment, you can pull from that and figure out what will work best in that moment. But teaching, one strategy to tie shoes is not going to take you very far. But it's understanding all of the principles behind it, again, in a fun way, but, really looking to see that behavior change across the settings, because that's where I think we're going to see the meaningful impact for our students and other individuals on the spectrum that might need it.
I agree. I mean, everything you guys are doing is so important. So please, please, please keep doing it. And now I need you to tell everyone where they could find you and what they'll find there.
Okay, awesome. So if you're looking for stuff on our company, Moms Managing Behavior, our website is momsmanagingbehavior.com. It does have a list of our services that we offer, whether it's professional developments to districts or parent trainings. We can do things virtually or in person if you're not too far. And our social media for that is at Moms Managing Behavior on both Instagram and Facebook. And we have done a bunch of podcasts, so we have those all linked to our website and also on our social media. If you're local to Jersey and you want to hear more about the initiative we're doing in our town, it's our social media handles are at Millburn Autism Alliance. We don't have a website yet, but hopefully when we do, you could see it on social media. And yeah, just kind of follow along for our journey. We're just getting started and hope to keep going. Maybe one day have our own podcast.
You guys need it. I mean, you're already like talking shit to each other all day. Why not?
So we could just record our phone conversations.
Literally, it's that easy.
My husband has a podcast, and he literally was like, on your car ride home, you guys should just record everything you're saying. Like, people would listen. So maybe one day we'll get advice from you.
Yeah.
Well, when you're ready. Also, Alan's on this call right now. He'll do it all for you. You don't have to do anything. You just sit here.
Awesome. Thanks, Alan.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on. You guys heard where to check out Moms Managing Behavior. I love what they're doing. And if you are near them, I think it's such a cool thing to be involved in. Maybe like you could help get more businesses in this alliance. I just love all of it. So check it out. And you guys know where to find us. You can find us on behaviorbitches.com, on Instagram at Behavior Bitches Podcast, Facebook at Behavior Bitches Podcast. What didn't I say? Oh, YouTube at Behavior Bitches Podcast. Please go subscribe there as well. And TikTok at Behavior Bitches Podcast. Okay, that's a lot of Behavior Bitches everywhere. That's all we have for you today. And as always, love ya. Mean it.
It's Behavior Bitches.